And Han, it's your time now.
All right, does everybody see my screen? Can't really tell.
Yes.
Great. So today I'm going to quickly demo the progress on our new landing page. As I was showing everybody last week, we have a mock. This is in Figma, a design for the new landing page. The plan that we've concocted that Nick advocated for, and I thought was a pretty good idea, was to A/B test this landing page so that, I mean, for me, this is less about looking carefully, minutely at the relative percentages because it's a strange A/B test because it's just a totally different landing page as opposed to, changing a word or changing a color. But for me, it's a way of rolling this out very quickly and seeing if anything is disastrous. And if not, I'm really excited for this to get out there. So this landing page update was a result of a lot of work thinking through the content and really trying to make a stronger case for the product, and shows updated product imagery and breaks down our features into these verticals or buckets or pillars. In this interactive section here, has a nice call to action, introduces testimonials for the first time. This is, us finally posting some of the testimonials that we've received, and then really pulling together our resources in a more compelling way to make it really feel like, so that people can really get a sense of the vibrant community that's actually around this product. So the big reveal for today is what I have for the actual landing page itself. Let's see, is it in this one here? Okay, so this is the preview of the landing page. I actually realized that this is the old header because we're also separately A/B testing the header. I think as I'm gonna, let me see what the fastest way to do this is. Nick, do you remember if it's like I just put site header 2 on the body? Is that right?
Is dash header 2.
Oh, okay. Is dash header 2. All right. Great. So here's a new header. And yeah, this is the real deal. Some of these are not fully wired up yet. These are buttons. This is a little messed up, so it needs to be, some things need to be cleaned up a bit. We have this nice little features list. Thank you, Dan Miller and Nick, for making that interactive. Testimonials. This is supposed to, be interactive, so you could sort of cycle through these 2 testimonials. I think we're like, I'm actually not 100% sure we have approval for this one yet. It feels like we're close. Great testimonial that Elle got from Cluster API. Thanks, Elle. This great resources section here. Mailing list still needs to work. And then I'm going to quickly show you the mobile version of this. Again, it needs to be cleaned up more. We have a nice, mobile version of the menu. Yeah, some stuff, as you can see, needs to be tidied up a bit, but more or less, the mobile version is meant to be totally usable, or at least much more so than the current mobile version that we have. Any questions?
That was really awesome. Thank you, Han. Where is the, or sorry, why are we putting a lot of the call to actions toward the bottom compared to, say, the existing page? We have it's like, say, like in the middle. So right now we have schedule
like
and download. Yeah. I mean, that's obvious, but I mean, like check out the docs or like install, those are toward the bottom in those nice 6 boxes. And
right.
Compared to our existing tilt, I think there's a couple, like right there, check out our GitHub and install docs, something like that. I know they're already in the banner, not the header, but yeah, like, is there an intentional reason why we wanted to put those lower in the page?
Yes, there was that's a really great question. There was a lot of thinking around the path that we want people to take when they see this landing page. Mm-hmm. So I think this really reflects the #1 priority, that we just want them to get in touch with us or
Right.
communicate with us. The GitHub piece for me is, I think, quite prominent still. And the way that I thought about it is like, if we only had this in many ways is our main call to action, is we want to make contact with our users, especially those who are serious in using Tilt for their teams.
Yep.
But I think Dan Bentley made a very good point that sometimes when you only see schedule a demo, you might not realize that what's here is an open source product that you could try out that has active and vibrant open source community around it. So I feel like these additional bits of social proof, like we now show the number of stars we have, we're still highlighting this. So I think the flow here, I think, is actually more intentional than what we have over here. It's like we want you to know that this is like the number one thing we want you to do, and that's kind of echoed in this enterprise section here. These are kind of similar to each other, but we back it up. We really make sure that we show that there's all of these additional resources as well.
That looks great. Like, yeah, I definitely like the header. That makes sense because it's more prominent now that there's borders compared to the existing.
Oh, I just realized I lost my old header, but you saw it already.
Yeah. So definitely it can replace the like go to GitHub because their eyes are drawn to the top already. So yeah, I like it. I like the Rubik's Cube too. So just random.
You mean our Kubernetes cluster?
Yes, that thing. Yeah.
I noticed that in our current landing page, the most prominent call to action is this get tilt for your team, pointing towards cloud.tilt.dev. Can you tell us about the rationale for deprioritizing that in favor of the new top two buttons?
Yeah, so currently, if you go through this cloud.tilt.dev, a concern is that if you're really just using this to be like, okay, what is this? Like, can I really use this? You end up here, and really the next step that would be meaningful and would actually give you a good experience is to really go through this 15-minute tutorial, which I'm worried that a lot of people wouldn't necessarily follow. So the concern here is that if somebody's first impression is like, this is not ready for prime time, this is very like speculative, that it might actually predispose them to kind of ignore us. If we were to follow up with them, they're like, I already saw this, there's nothing here. Whereas like, there still is Tilt, the open source product, which I think is very impressive and like obviously is a fully featured experience, but like it's almost like saying we would rather that somebody talk to us if they want to go through this experience, because if you just drop somebody here, then they might really get the wrong impression that this is not something that they can use right away.
May I ask a second question?
Yeah.
Would it be helpful for us to be combing our existing accounts for more testimonials? We did a tiny project around it, and then I stopped asking people to do it.
Yeah, I love that idea. I think that's great. I've been poking various account managers, mostly Maya, about getting approval and some testimonials. But when I've looked at lists, especially like I think Dan Miller helpfully compiled a list, it's like we have some really good testimonials. Like people are genuinely like excited about it. And there's two that I think are useful. One is like, oh, I know that company, right? Mm-hmm. Like that's a big get for us. And then the other one is like, oh, this person's just really excited and they're like saying something really relatable. And like, that sounds great. And in that case, they don't necessarily have to have a huge recognizable company behind them. I think that's just, adds to the fact that this is actually a good tool.
Thanks.
So I guess like, was there anything that I presented that was unclear that somebody would like clarification about?
All right. Thank you, Han.